Feel like I'm forgetting something. There we go. Okay. So I'm a little late on this. In fact, 3, I think, full trailers have come out at this point. But I'm very excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. I don't know what I was expecting, but so far, this movie is everything I was wanting. I've just gotten back into reading comic books over the last few years, and one of the more recent stories that was releasing when I was getting back into the swing of Marvel books was Ryan North's 2022 Fantastic Four run. Before this, my only exposure to the Fantastic Four were Tim Story's Fantastic Four movies in the 2000s, Josh Trank's Fan Four Stick, and Jim being spaghettied in Doctor Strange 2. I didn't really understand the point of the team at that point. They felt very Silver Age, with no real defining or special characteristics to me as a kid. I grew up on Superman and mostly other DC comics, so back then I thought DC characters were the more interesting of the bunch. I mean, Jack Kirby even created a similar team while he was working over at DC. The Challengers of the Unknown are also a group of daring explorers of the wacky and weird with comparable suits to the Marvel heroes. They're not just a reskin of the Challengers of the Unknown, though. The Fantastic Four are cosmic and extra-dimensional explorers. Explorers and protectors. They might not be Earth's mightiest heroes, but they are Earth's most staunch defenders. The Fantastic Four aren't a rotating roster of heroes, except when they are, but that's not the Fantastic Four. They're absolutely a team of superheroes, but first and foremost, they're a family. A dysfunctional family at times, but still a family. And Marvel's first. When First Steps was announced, I was worried it was just going to be another failure to properly adapt the FF. But every reveal continued to excite me. I love that the film's director, Matt Shakman, and Kevin Feige took the team in the direction that they did. We're going back to basics. Marvel Studios are using the team's original origins of going up into space and being bombarded by cosmic radiation and gaining incredible powers instead of the Ultimate Fantastic Four's origin. In Marvel's first Ultimate Universe, the Four gain their powers after inadvertently traveling to the Negative Zone, or the End Zone. I actually like both origins for the team, and a lot of other MCU elements have been pulled from the original Ultimate Universe as inspiration. But I love that we're going old school and classic with the Fantastics. We're going back to what worked in the very beginning. We're going into an era where the comic was born. The 60s retro-future aesthetic just feels right for the Fantastic Four. It's when it all began for them after all. Ever since this movie was announced, I was hoping that this would be the route Marvel would take with their introduction. I already love period pieces. It just gives each project a unique identity and makes them ironically timeless. Just look at projects like Captain America the First Avenger and WandaVision. This is not a popular take at all, but The First Avenger is my favorite Cap movie, by far. And WandaVision is one of, if not the most experimental MCU projects to date, and I love it for that. Feige and Shakman are clearly not out of the WandaVision era yet. I mean, neither am I. What am I gonna do? Not buy this shirt when I see it hanging on the shelf? That retro font for Marvel Studios does not get old, I swear. Use it for everything and anything. I don't care if it doesn't have any relation to the story. I love it that much. You can tell there's a vision for the Fantastic Four here. Even with our first look at the team, it's not an action splash page. It could have easily been something like this, adapting the cover of the Fantastic Four #1. But no. They went with a Valentine's Day social media post of all things. It's not them fighting, it's not them using their powers, it's just them. Together. Sitting in their living room enjoying time as a family. Everything surrounding the team is just full of thought and care as well. It brings the universe to life in a way that Marvel movies have struggled with in many projects in all the phases. Look at Herbie! I love the little guy. I love the use of the magnetic tape reels used for data storage and mid-century computers for his eyes. It's like a little robotic vacuum cleaner come to life. In a cute way. I love such a futuristic robot having such an antique design. The Fantastic car also looks incredible. It's really hard to keep from using the word fantastic as an adjective in this video. It's come up multiple times. I'm glad it doesn't just look like a spacecraft like from the comics or from the Tim Story movies. This baby is sleek. They learned their science from Doc Brown.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
The automobile industry in the 1960s was all about speed, performance, And most importantly for my point here, style. This car has so much that's unique about it. The retractable car doors and windshields, the jet turbines on the front, and that deep blue that really pops. All of this makes it so special, and yet it's so in line with the era that you can imagine this puppy driving alongside cars like this one, and this one, and this one. All of this is just peak vintage sci-fi. With how much space and cosmic radiation ties into the team's origins, setting this at the height of the space race just works. The Fantastic Four don't have secret identities. They're basically celebrities of the Marvel Universe. They're leaning into that idea, not just with the homage to the Beatles, but also the celebration and notoriety of astronauts sprinting to the stars. The the Fantastic Four are the Apollo 11 astronauts of this universe. Sorry, Marvel 1. I am obsessed with both sets of costumes for the family, both the astronaut suits and the super suits. The spacesuits don't feel so sterile. The Fantastic Four certainly aren't shy. I've seen a lot of dislike for the team's outfits, but I love them. They're some of my favorite super suits I've seen in live action in a while. They don't have all these unnecessary lines to make something look futuristic or modern for modernity's sake. These suits have texture without pointless lines and ridges. They're simple. They're the ugly family Christmas sweaters everyone's forced to wear since their mom picked them out or made them. It makes them feel that much closer as a family. Marvel's first family are some of that Silver Age simplicity and magic that the MCU desperately needs right now. Since the end of the Infinity Saga and the culmination of 11 years worth of storytelling, Marvel Studios has felt pretty aimless. Kang and his counterparts are a pretty convoluted idea even in the comics, and true to form, they are in the MCU and behind the scenes as well. He was only in 2 projects, Loki and Quantumania, before Jonathan Majors was fired back in 2023. He was barely brought into the universe, which is why Marvel probably decided to cut its losses with Kang as a villain and just move on. Kang was never going to be a Thanos-level threat, and I'm glad Marvel finally realized that. Phase 4 was a slow burn with a few bright spots, but now with the Kang news, Phase 5 has been mostly a dud. Now with everything coming out in 2025, from Brave New World, to Thunderbolts, to First Steps, it feels like Marvel finally has a second end goal in mind. I still think it's being rushed. Sam's Avengers are rumored to be assembled off-screen, between movies, and Doom as a character has not even been hinted at yet, but Marvel's at the whim of Disney, so what are you gonna do? This is one of the most important movies Marvel has done. They have to nail this. We have had decades of okay to bad to flat out non-existent Fantastic Four movies. I think Marvel realizes the importance of this film, and I have faith that they're going to crush this. Third time's the charm with the Fantastic Four. I'll see you guys July 25th with my Galactus popcorn bucket. Now let's talk about the cast for a bit. I didn't know how to feel about Pedro's casting initially, but after thinking about his previous roles, I came around to the idea. Both of these trailers, plus his portrayal of Joel, plus his goofy but deadpan performance as the Mandalorian, plus his personality in real life, all add up to him having the perfect temperament for Reed Richards. I think he'll be able to capture the logical and emotional sides of Reed really well. Vanessa Kirby's Sue feels perfect. She has felt so one-note in prior attempts to adapt the Fantastic Four, and it feels like her character has the importance and gravity Sue Storm deserves in this film. The true heart of the family and the team. She might mention in the first trailer that Ben has always been a rock, but she's truly the one who holds the team together. I hope she's the focal point of the story, and from the more recent trailers, it looks like that's the case. I think the main cast are all great for their roles, but I believe people will be talking about Kirby Sue Storm for years to come. Now that they've cast Joseph Quinn, I can't imagine anyone else as Johnny Storm. Okay, of course, I can think of one more.
Trouble is my middle name.
Oh, you're hot.
Why, thank you, so are you.
It just suits Quinn so well. Eddie Munson became an instant fan favorite in Stranger Things, and that was almost entirely from Joseph Quinn's charisma. He gives his all for his performances, and I don't think First Steps is going to be any different. I knew when I first watched him as Eddie that Quinn would be a big name in just a few years. And here's the thing. Ben looks incredible. This is a hot take, I know, but I actually enjoyed the look of Fanforstic's thing. Yeah, he needs pants, I know. It feels way less human and more monstrous than Michael Chiklis' thing. It feels truly horrific, which is what they were going for, and feels pretty accurate. I would also react like this.
No, Reed, help me! Please don't leave me! I'm sorry. Reed, do something, please!
This new design for Ben is a nice middle ground between the two. Just towering and inhuman enough for his aversion to his transformation to be seen and understood, but he still feels so human, which makes it so easy to connect with him. This connection also relates to how he sounds as well, both in his voice and his movements. I really prefer his voice not to be all gruff and gravelly. It's just really distracting to me in other portrayals of the thing. It makes him sound more sympathetic in my eyes for his rocky exterior to still have a soft, distinctly human voice. I think Evan will be able to portray a quiet sadness with the thing, and is perfect for such a loud presence in every other way. After watching The Bear, I know Evan has the range to bring out the anger inside Ben Grimm with his predicament, especially in the very beginning of the Fantastic Four's history. I mean, this guy was ready to fly off the handle at the drop of a hat. He was not having any of it. Like, chill out, my man. In terms of the thing's design, Marvel has finally nailed it after 30 years of trying. His movements are way more pronounced. He feels large. It feels like the world is too small for him to properly interact with it. His movements are so weighty and rocky, it's just so immersive and feels like what you think a rock man would move like. The most important part of the castings, though, is how well they interact with each other. You can change the setting, you can change the time period, you can even change universes. But the most distinguishable difference between every Fantastic Four project is the cast and the interconnected dynamics between each of the four. This is the team that requires a good chemistry between its cast members for it to work, and Sarah Haley Finn works her magic again. Even through all the awkward interviews, and there were a good amount.
So how does it feel now that all these fans got their first look?
Which one is he talking to?
All of you.
The cast all looks like they're having a good time together. Vanessa said they didn't have to act even in the beginning. It felt like a family even then. Joseph mentioned in one of the interviews,
"It's a team sport, this, and we're all going to work very hard to bring a feeling of a family to this film."
no one actor can carry this movie on their back, and I believe together they can carry it to the stars.